Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a two-player only World War II game called Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg is a two-player only game where players are either playing the Allies or the Axis, World War II, that's the theme, where you're trying to take over you're trying to win all of these 5 theaters of operations in the battles. They're going to be basically representing different areas that were being fought in during World War II. The interesting thing about this game is it's been super abstracted down, and it's basically turned into a bag pulling game. So you're going to reach in, pull out some chits. You're going to use these chits, maybe Army, Navy, Air Force, to put them on certain spaces on this board to move the battle in your direction. So you're kind of doing a little two-player tug of war, bag pulling style. So I love pulling stuff out of bags. So let's go down to the table and see if this does it in the way that I want it to do it. Alright, so here's a game of Blitzkrieg all set up. This is a two-player only game. So setup here is what it's going to take for 2 players. You're going to have these advanced tokens that you're going to sort out and display somewhere near the board. I just put them over here so I can reach them easy. One player is going to be the Allies, which are this darker color, has a little ally symbol in the back. One player is going to be the Axis. There'll be a lighter gray. The other own bag. The bags kind of look the same, which is a little tricky for setup, but not a big deal. And then whoever's the Axis will go first. You're going to put all these red cubes in the middle of all these theaters of battle, and the ally will be the green, Axis will be gray to score points. Alright, so the way this game works is we're going to be placing chits, I'll explain a little bit more about it later, into one of the theaters of battle in the active combat, which is always the topmost section. And we're trying to just basically win the side of the battle to score points and be the first person to hit 25 points. That's the game. Now let's play it. So beginning of the game, you're going to draw 3 chits. You're going to actually have a player screen that's going to have some information behind it to kind of show you what the chits do, but that's going to look awful on camera, so I just left it off. But just know that is in there, so you're not going to be playing like this because that would be ridiculous. Alright, so what you're going to do is on your turn you're going to play a chit to one of the battle areas, and you're going to get the bonus, and you're going to adjust the battle marker. So Axis Power is going to go first, and they're going to go to Western Europe and they're going to fight. So they're going to take their boat. So this boat has a power of 2. You can see the 2 in the top. Boats can play on blue spaces. Tanks can play on brown spaces, and the airplane can play on either, because it doesn't matter what type of terrain because they're in the air. So in this case, this boat is going to go to the right here. You can play on any of these items as long as it's blue. So it's going to go here. They're going to get a point because it covered up a point, and then they're going to move the battle tracker their side number 2 because their boat is a 2. Then at the end of your turn, you're going to draw back up to 3. So they're drawing, and now they have another general. They have a general and a commander or something like that. What is that? General and admiral. Okay. So when I play one of those, I'll explain them. They're a little funky, or not funky, I guess, but they have separate rules. So that's going to be the allied player's turn, and they're going to play a chit. So the trick here is you don't want to let somebody get too far in the head, but you also don't want to just keep duking it out, because the last player who places there is usually going to win. So it's a little tricky. So they're going to go ahead and ignore them, and they're going to take their tank, and they're going to go over here and fight in Africa. All right, so they're taking their tank, which is a 2, which is going to advance them 2. Then they're playing on this space, which says +3 to any other theater of battle. So they're going to go ahead and fight this one, 1, 2, 3, so they can start battling even though they're not there. So that was their turn, and they're going to draw back up. So they have another tank. All right, so then it's the allied player's turn. So let's see here. They want to start moving on another one. So they're going to come down. I just want to show you some stuff on the board, so I'm going to try to go to crazy places. All right, so they're going to come to the Pacific Ocean with their plane. That's a 1. So it can go on any colored space. It doesn't matter. So they're going to come here. They're going to adjust their track by 1. Oh, and I moved this the wrong way. Whoops. All right, and then they covered up this bomb, these bombs. So on the back of the player, on the back of the rule book, it shows what all these symbols do. So bombing, discard, put back in the bag, 1 random unit token from your opponent's supply. So the way I've been playing is they would flip, and then they just move their shield, and then I just grab one, put it back in the bag. So we did that, and then they're done. So the Axis player is going to draw another one. All right, so now they're going to be operating at a disadvantage because they have 1 less tile because they got bombed. All right, so now it's the Allied player's turn, and they're actually going to take their boat, their 3 boat, and they're going to go here. So there, as you can see, there's little gears. What that means is you're going to take one of these, a random unit token from the research pile, and you're going to add it to your bag. So I have this nuclear bomb token, which is pretty awesome. So I'll put that in my bag, and then if I draw it out, it'll be available for me to use. So we'll keep that in mind. All right, so then I put this here. I move this 3 to my side. 1, 2, 3. I win this battle for 2 points. So green now has 2 points. All right, then I'm drawing out a bag. Come on, research 1. Let's see, come on. Nope, did not get research. All right, done. So then it's Axis player's turn. Let's see. They're going to start going up here. So they're going to take their plane and they're going to send it up here to put it right there on the little industrial building. What that means is industrial production. Draw 1 unit token from your bag and add it to your reserve. So this is your bag, this is your reserve. So that's going to let them have 4 now because they're going to draw 1 now for putting that token there. Oh, and they get to adjust it. And then at the end of your turn, you always get to draw 1 as well. So they got a boat, and then they'll draw another one. They got a 3 boat. So now they have 4 tokens while the other player has 2. So what they need to do is they need to get into some industry as well. But they can't, because industry is blue and they don't have any blue. So what they're going to do is they're going to come here to the western front, and they're going to cover up another gear, move this 2 to their side, 1, 2, and they're going to take another gear. Ooh, they got a Blitzkrieg aircraft carrier, which I'll explain what the Blitzkrieg does in a second. Hopefully, if I can ever draw one out. So then I get to draw a token, and I have another tank. So all I'm getting is ground combat. All right, so now we're moving to this, the Allied. So I want to actually play one of these just so you can kind of know what they do. So let's see here. So I'm going to take... what do I want to do? Let's take... which one are you? You're the general. You can do tanks. We will take this guy. He's the admiral. He's going to go... I'm going to put him here, I think. No, I'll put him here. Nope, that's silly. I'll put him here. And... all right, so first thing it's going to do is I'm going to cover up a +1 space. That's just going to let me move +1 on this track. All right, so now the Admiral is going to give me an extra 1, +1 for every boat and plane that I have in that theater. So right now, it's just 1 plane, so I would get 2 additional ones. So 1, 2. Oops, nope, all right, just 1. I already moved the Admiral 1. And then that's that. So then I win this battle for 2 points. So I get 2 points. Then I draw a new token, because you're at the end of your turn, you always draw a token. Got 1 boat. All right. So I need to get some tanks up, blowing some stuff up. So I'm going to... I need to start winning up there. So I'm going to take my 3 tank. The Allies are going to take the 3 tank. And they are going to... I'm actually going to go here. So I'm going to take my 3... Where did I put my 3 tank? Right here. And I'm going to put it on this 2 gear space. And I get to draw 2 of these tokens and add them to my bag. So I have a 3 plane and a 4 tank now in my bag. And I get to move 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. All right. Then we'll draw out a token. Come on. And I got a general. All right. That's my turn. Now the Axis turn. They have a lot of boats. They need to get some boating going. So they're going to actually do this. They're going to take their 3 boat. They're going to come over here. That's going to let them draw an extra token out. So they're going to have 5. So they got an extra token. So they have a 2 tank. And they're going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And now, because we're tied, both players get those points. So we get 1, 2, 1, 2. And now we can start battling down. And at the end of their turn, they get to draw another token. So they now have 5 that they can play with, while this player has 2, which kind of stinks. All right, so let's see here. This player is going to take their tank. They're going to come up here, so it's a 1. So they're going to move it in their direction 1. And then they get to bomb them, so they get to put 1 of these randomly back into the bag. So we'll flip them all. I already know what they are, so I'll just say I grabbed the general. Put it back in the bag. And then this, the allies get to draw tile. I'm trying to draw a yellow one so we can see those in play. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Let me get a yellow one. Bear with me, I'm cheating. It's fine. Alright, so I drew a yellow one. So I get 1 yellow. Alright, so that's the end of my turn. Now it's back to the Axis. They want to do an air raid campaign, I think. Yeah, so they're going to go take their plane, and they're going to come over here. That'll move them 1. And then they're going to get to take 2 of these tiles and put them in their bag. Then they'll get to draw 1. And they drew another plane. All right, so now it's this player's turn. They're going to actually use their Blitzkrieg tile because I want to show you what it does. So let me see what it does actually, because I'm not super familiar with all of these because I played 2 games and none of these even came up, which was kind of stinky. All right. So I am going to, ooh, I don't want to use that. That would be bad. Yeah, I'm not going to use that yet. And I'll explain why in a second. Let me just grab another tile so I can have some options here. So let's say I also had this and this. All right. So what I want to do is, now that I have the nuclear bomb token out, I want to use it. So let's go ahead and nuke some stuff. Nuke it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to play the nuke. So it's considered an army, so I can place it on an army space, which is brown. I'm going to... Ooh, let's see. Let's put it here. I'm going to go here. So that's going to give me a point. All right, and then when you put that down, you get to advance 7 spaces on this track. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then I get a point because I crossed the point area. Then I have to retreat 2 spaces on every other theater of operations that have not yet closed. So closed means everything's done. So I got to go back 2 here, 2, oh, wrong way. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So yes, I bombed Southeast Asia, but to do that, I had to give up armies everywhere else. So that's the end of my turn. Then I would draw another one. Then it would be the other player's turn. And you're going to keep going like that until someone has 25 points. And then whoever has the 25 points is the winner of Blitzkrieg. So let's go up to the top, see what we think about it. All right, so that was Blitzkrieg. I like this game, so I'll just go ahead and say it. And actually at the start of this video, I'm going to give you my rating, and then I'll tell you about what I like or didn't like. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 wrenches. So this is BGM accepted. So that's 8 out of 10 on BGG. This is a really fun 2-player game. Like, I had a blast playing this. I love pulling stuff out of bags. The give and take, the pull that you're trying to do here to decide which area you want to fight in. Do you want to let your opponent win this one so you can focus on this one with more points? All that is great. So I love this game. 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5 wrenches. Okay by me. So let me talk about what this game is and a little bit about the production. So let's start with production. Art. This is the art. Irrelevant to me. This is essentially an abstract game, but this is the extent of the art. Like, really. There's this, and then there's the board that's just squares and tracks. The same box art is on this bag. That's it. It's designed by Paolo Mori. I love Paolo Mori games. Vasco da Gama, Libertalia, Ethnos. There's a whole bunch that I'm forgetting. He's a good designer. So let me talk about the mechanisms of the game. So art, components, and I mean cardboard chits that look like war tokens, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't play war games, but I know that represents a lot of war style chits. Simple, I get it, but it still looks like a war chit. So components, production's fine. It's just, I mean, it's nothing fantastic. It just does the job, lets me play the game. So let me talk about the mechanism. So the main mechanism of this game is, it's kind of an area control tug of war. So I'm going to pull these chits out like I showed in the overview, and military army can go on the brown spaces, Navy can go on the blue spaces, Air Force can go on either because they're in the air, and you're trying to, you know, move the battle needle in your direction. So if you're allies, it needs to move this way, Axis needs to move this way, and you're just trying to have the most in your favor by the time all the battles in that theater of operations is closed. Pretty straightforward. But the main mechanism of pulling stuff out of the bag, this cannot be done enough. If you put this in every game, I will love it. Some of my favorite games have pulling stuff out of the bag. Quacks. I really like Mercado. I like Orleans. Like, there's something about pulling, Thebes. There's just something about pulling stuff out of a bag that I love. I love it, love it, love it. So reaching into this bag, pulling out some goodies. Like, look, I'll show you right now. Look how awesome it is. Yes. Got something. It's a boat. Yes. So good. So at the core of this game is super simple. Pulling stuff out of a bag, putting it on the board in appropriate spaces, trying to win the tug of war to your side. But the thinkiness of, do I want to go tackle this small battle that only has 2, knowing that if I put a little pilly one down here and my opponent puts a 3 down, they're going to win? Or do I want to just ignore it and start focusing on something that's going to be worth more points to be able to get to a better battle later? Like, that is awesome. And the game plays, and it says 20 minutes on the box. I think it plays even faster than that. It flies. It's awesome. These research tokens, like I showed you in the overview, this atomic bomb. I mean, come on. There's a game that has an atomic bomb in it. So good. So good. I didn't really explain the Blitzkrieg. Let me see if I can find that again. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. So this lightning bolt right here, this is on the research token. It's got a little lightning bolt. What that means is when you play this down, it's called a Blitzkrieg. So when I played this token on the board, I would then be allowed to play another token in my reserve onto the board as well. So I'm basically, you know, bringing in all my troops to do a big attack right here so I can try to sway the battle in my favor. But then I'm going to have less troops because I sent more to that battle. So kind of thematic, kind of cool. I dig it. See, I don't have much to say about this. I love it. It's great. If you like 2-player games and you love pulling stuff out of a bag, because you should, on both of those, 2 players and bags, then I would say check this one out. It's from PSC Games. They're out of the UK. I'll put a link to where you can get the game in the video description. I think you can go to their website or maybe Amazon. I'm not sure, but there'll be a link in the video description if this is interesting to you. So yeah, I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.